Welcome to Practical Access. I'm Lisa Deeker.
And I'm Rebecca Hines. And Lisa, we're about to get real practical. Who do we have?
So we have a dear friend, colleague, Tara Kaczorowski. Tara, thanks for being with us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited. Tara is a professor at Damien College and the Director of Education Programs, but I know Tara as a tech lover, so I'm going to define her in that realm, and I know Becky also is in that realm. So we're excited to have you with us. And we kind of have been kicking this season off by just asking folks, what are you really proud of in your accomplishments in the field of special ed to this point?
Well, I feel like, especially for my age, I feel pretty proud of kind of where I have grown in my leadership skills. I think I got my PhD in 2015, and now I've kind of moved through the process of an assistant chair, and now I'm the chair of a department and the director of education programs at a college. And I feel like I've really crafted those skills, and I think a lot of that came from my technology skills. Have been I'm pretty organized with my tech, and I can clean up a lot with that. So I'm pretty proud of that. I've been doing quite a bit. I've been at this at Damien College since August, and I'm proud of the processes we've put together.
Yeah, and you're also a journal editor. Yes.
I was. So I'm on the editorial board for JSET,
Okay.
and I also was doing some work. We have a SOTL journal that we had started at my previous institution at Illinois State University, so I'm on associate editor for that as well.
Fabulous. Thank you for that service and that work, too.
Well, I mean, it seems like you're pretty busy. So I'm going to have to take you back to your school days. What do you think when you're thinking about contemporary classrooms? And as somebody who trains teachers, what do you think are the greatest needs there? What do we need to be teaching today's young or new teachers? What's the top 2-3 things you've got?
Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, I mean, I like to address everything needs for teachers as from a person first standpoint, and we always think about our students from person first, but as a teacher, I think the most important thing that teachers can do right now is to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
We are living in some tough times right now, and you're not going to be able to help and serve your students if you're not serving yourself. So to me, that is what I'm seeing in the pandemic is probably the best advice I have for teachers, because that old saying on planes, you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first, and it's so true right now. I'm finding it hard for myself to draw clear lines. I'm like, if I could just get this one more thing done. And you know what? I'm never going to be caught up on work.
Right.
Teachers, you are never, ever going to be caught up. So just accept that and draw some lines for yourself. In terms of other actual skill sets, we are really seeing in the pandemic, it's just brought it all to the forefront, the need for fluency with technology skills. And I mean down to the basics. You would think that, young people coming up, they've used technology, they've immersed in it, but we have to teach it explicitly. What do you do? I mean, just down to organizing your Google Drive, your files into folders, and how to share things appropriately. You don't always have to make a copy of everything. We don't need 5,000 copies of the same document. There's a lot out there that technology can make our life easier, but it can also make it a lot clunkier if you don't know what you're doing with it. So that's kind of a big piece.
I definitely see that. And in higher ed, I think there's a real disparity among institutions on what we're actually training these young teachers to be able to do. And I always encourage my undergrads, well, if you don't know how to do it, then Google it.
Right.
But what do you think that we should be preparing them with skill-wise in technology?
There are a lot of things that I think we need to be preparing them with, but I think starting with those basic functions, we actually just redesigned. We have a 1-credit lab class, a tech lab that's attached to one of our early classes, our instructional design class. And it used to be much more tech specific, okay, we're going to use this tool later, so let's teach you how to use this tool and this tool. And now we've set new objectives. It's much more open. It's more about the purpose-driven technology, right? So how do you take the technology? What is it that you're aiming to do, and how is the technology going to help you do that? And pushing them to problem solve early on and figure it out on their own. Creating content, technology is more than just, I found this cool tool and it's fun to, for engagement in the class. It's okay, what are the students doing with the technology? How is it shaping your life? So I think setting those expectations early on teaching the basic skills that need to be taught explicitly, but then giving the opportunity and pushing people. That being not a tech person is not a thing anymore.
Right.
It's not an option.
You mean that film strip class that I had to take for the 1 credit lab was not what we should be doing today. I love it. I love it. So I have a question kind of moving us forward. And I think you're such a great visionary and you really have done a lot in the field very fast. And again, we appreciate that. So what do you think the tech teacher of the future in special education specifically, what would that look like if there was like the perfect tech model teacher in special ed? What's your vision?
Honestly, I think the perfect tech model teacher is the everyday teacher. I don't see it as much as a specialty anymore. I think it's just a skill it's a teacher skill now. Technology is not this separate thing. It is a tool. It's no more a tool than a pen or a pencil is, it's choosing the right tools for the task. So the technology teacher of the future is just the teacher of the future who knows how to pick the right tools.
And speaking of tools, and I agree wholeheartedly, it's about teachers understanding how to find what they need for the student or the task. What have you found recently that you think is a good tool that you can use with a wide range of learners or with peers?
Honestly, my go-to tools, I always begin, you think about what tools you have available to you first at the school. So I am at an institution that is a Google institution, so we have the Google Suite. I was previously at an institution that had all the Microsoft tools. So I kind of start there. The infrastructure piece is really important. We can't forget about like privacy and data responsibility. So I always, start with the kind of the network that my school has. And I'm thrilled that this one is Google School because the Google Suite of tools that's my go-to. I mean, there are a lot of add-ons for Google Slides from Pear Deck to Nearpod where I can make more interactive presentations. But to be honest with you, I do most things in Google Slides. I make interactive drag and drop kind of activities in there for students. You create slide decks of activities. So all things Google have been just kind of a go-to. I follow so many different Facebook groups and Twitter handles on just how to hone those skills. You can do just about everything with that suite.
I love it. And so I'm going to ask you kind of one that we didn't tell you that, maybe was coming, but what about parent tools? Got any, because I know you're that mom. What, you got any parent tool that would be a go-to?
So that's
because I know Google's out there, and the beauty is it's free, so that's the nice part.
It is. Oh, that's a good one. Honestly, for the parents, I think a lot of times it's not a specific tool that I would say. It's about digital organization and calendar tools and follow. I think when I hear from parents, sometimes they can feel pretty overwhelmed with this tech tool and this tech tool, So to me, it's about that communication piece between teachers and parents and creating that central hub. So I think it has to kind of be a back and forth. For a parent, you want a central place where you keep all the stuff. It's about being digitally organized. Like I said, whether it's a calendar or even a Google Doc with your hyperlinks to everything, never underestimate a really simple document that you have bookmarked somewhere that can get you everywhere else. So I don't know that it's one specific tool because I'm very much a match the tool to the task kind of person. What are you trying to do? So, but digital organization is to me, everyone should be one of their top priorities because it's easy to be overwhelmed by the number of different tools. But if you have a central hub, it becomes a lot easier.
I love it. I think that's something you should design. I love it. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Tara. Some great advice, really some fabulous ideas. And if you have any questions, you can post them on our Twitter page at Access Practical or on our Facebook page. Thank you again, Tara.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tara.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.